first and foremost, all right, it says the sum of a number and its square is 56. So how do I write that? How do I write the sum of a number and its square?
X squared plus X.
That's exactly correct. Well, equals 56, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, now, again, there's nothing wrong with what you said, but I'm going to show you the literal translation to that. The literal translation is the sum of a number. So the number is X. You with me? So it'd be X technically plus X squared equals 56. You with me on that? Even though we're going to write it in the correct order. Now, again, please, come on. I want you to write this down, and then I need you to ask me a question if you're not sure why it is X plus X squared equals 56. Any issues with that? All right, now because it is a quadratic, all quadratics have to be set what? Equal to 0. All right, so now you just set it equal to 0, and you're moving the X squared where it should go, which means this. Like Max said, X squared plus X minus 56 is equal to 0. Question. Now, I'm pretty confident everybody in here should be able to look at that at this stage and just say, this is what it factors to. All right? What does X squared plus X minus 56 factor to?
X minus 8. Oh wait, X plus 7.
X what?
X plus 8, X minus 7.
Come on, everybody. X plus 8 and X minus 7. That's what you should be able to tell yourself. All right? Any issues with that? Now, of course, after you factor, you set the factors equal to 0. So you would say X plus 8 equals 0, X minus 7 equals 0. So X can be what? Negative 8 or X equals 7. All right? Now, we have to answer the question. All right? The question says, find the number. Right? Well, in this case, there just happens to be what? 2 answers. There are 2 options. That's exactly right. So X could be what? X could be negative 8, or X could be what? 7. Now on these, it's easy to check, and I normally don't check, but I'm going to try to show you something just to make sure. All right? If I do negative 8 plus negative 8 squared, what do you think that equals? Wow, come on. 50 what?
56.
It says it equals 56, guys.
Oh.
Come on, that's what I'm trying to show you now. Come on, common sense here. X plus the number squared is going to equal what? It's going to equal 56. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to put 7 plus 7 squared. What do you think that's equal to? 56. That is correct. And if you don't believe me, you can plug it in on the calculator, take a look at it, and see. All right, come on now. If we're going to work, you gotta think with me. It's not doing any good to just write this down. No good at all. All right, we got 10 problems. All right, we have to go through. You got to think a little bit about each one. All right, now number 2. All right, I want everybody to read number 2. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. I want to see if you know what we're talking about here. Go. Come on, you got to read it. Remember, you're not allowed to just say, I don't know. Come on, guys. Look up. Let me steer you in the right direction. All right? So, if I don't know anything, you should be able to say you could do what, Jack? Wow. You could factor it out. That is correct. I didn't even recognize that. Jack's saying, well, we've been working on factoring, so let's factor that out. So if I factor that out, that's just 3x plus 5 times 2x plus 3 is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. But to me right there, that's not, those things are equal, but they're in different forms. Do you agree? So what should I do to 3x plus 5 and 2x plus 3? Exactly. Multiply it out. So I need everybody right now to take time, and I want everybody to multiply that out right there. I want everybody to multiply that out. All right? It's been a while since we had to multiply that out, so come on. Let's go. Let's go. Come on, multiply it out. We've been factoring. We've been going the opposite direction, so now you have to multiply it out. Remember, to multiply, you can look at the smiley faces. Come on, come on, come on. Good. 6x what? Squared. Come on. Multiply that out. Quicker, 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 quicker. You should be able to multiply quickly. Yeah. That should be 9 what? That should be 6x what? Come on, 6x squared. So I'm saying little things make a difference. All right, when I multiply that out, 3x times 2x is what? 6x squared. Now, here, look up now. I'm trying to show you how you can multiply that in your head without, I said smiley face. How much is this guy right here? And how much is this? Which makes a total of 19x. So put 6x squared plus 19x. And then the last thing is plus 15 equals ax squared plus bx plus c. So now, somebody tell me what a equals.
6.
A equals 6, period. How do I know that? Because it says right here, a is the number in front of the square term. So a would be 6. What's b?
19.
Wow, that's our answer, 19. All right, if I said what's c, everybody would say c is?
15.
Because c is the constant. C is the constant. All right, is everybody okay with that? Now again, remember, come on, we're just multiplying it out. Come on, this is helping you with your standardized test. All right, super important. All right, you're going to be taking standardized tests for those of you guys who are going to private schools soon. All right? What?
Okay, I see.
Right? Okay, now, somebody tell me for number 3, what does 2 consecutive odds, give me an example of 2 consecutive odds. 3 and 5, good. Does 3 times 5 equal 143? So is that the answer? No. So you're trying to find consecutive odds, right? So how do I get from 3 to 5? You add 2, right? So here's what we're doing. We're looking for 2 numbers. Everybody agree? So what's the first number? Do we have any idea? We don't have any idea, so we'll call it what?
N.
We'll call it x or n. Good. The second number would be what? But you just told me, how do I get from one to the next? Yeah, that's right. We're going to add 2. All right? Come on now. You got to listen. You're adding 2. So the second number would be x plus 2. Everybody agreeing with me on that? So whenever you're talking about consecutive evens or consecutive odds, they're x and x plus 2. Now, what am I supposed to do with those 2 numbers right there? Yes, you're supposed to multiply them. So when I multiply them, that's going to be x times x plus 2. And what are they supposed to equal? 143. Now, we had problems like this on the test. So everybody in here knows approximately what we should be doing. What should we be doing? Well, Ben, if I gave an odd number, how would I get to the next odd number? If I said, for example, 3, how would I get to 5? That's why. Right? So x represents any odd number. And to get to the next consecutive odd number, we'd simply add 2. Agreed now? All right. So now, to solve that was on the last test. So what do I do with the x times x plus 2? Jack? Yeah, you distribute it. So when I distribute that, that becomes what? Beautiful. X squared plus 2x. Subtract 143. And then that equals 0. All right? Now your job is factor it. Let's go. Let's see what you can do on the factoring. Chop, chop. Let's go. 143 is kind of a pain, but some of you will think about it. What two numbers multiplied together equal 143? What two numbers multiplied together equal 143? Mr. Mead. Yay, 1311. That is exactly correct. 1311. All right, so that was kind of tricky because of the number. All right. Now, when we factor this, here we go. You should have two sets of parentheses down. Now, Allison, tell me how that factors.
X and X and then 13.
Wow, thank you. Minus 11. Beautiful. Exactly. So, Alex, what's my answer here? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, here's what I'm trying to convince you of. Listen to me. If the first number, pay attention, if the first number is negative 13, what's the next number? What's the next consecutive odd after negative 13? Now, the common mistake is to say negative 15. But negative 11 because we're what? We're adding 2. So now make yourself a little note if you accidentally said negative 15. All right? So your answer is, the two numbers could be negative 13 and negative 11. Or the two numbers could be what? Yeah, positive 13, positive 11. But again, we want to write them in numerical order. So we would say what? 11 and 13. So 11, comma, 13. So there were two answers. And hopefully you understand that, right? Negative times a negative is still a positive. All right, is everybody seeing that now? Make yourself a note. Consecutive evens and consecutive odds are x and x plus 2. Consecutive numbers would be x and x plus 1. All right? Now, let's check out number 4. All right, now if you paid attention now, you know how to do number 4. All right, so I'm going to walk around the room and see what you're doing. Let's go, let's go. Come on, read it and try it. Come on, let's go. That's right, you're simplifying. That's exactly right. Here you're just doing what? Distributing a what? The negative 2. You're distributing a negative 2. Come on, come on, come on. Is there really a reason for the first parentheses? No. So just rewrite it without the parentheses. Then on the second one, what are you doing? Yes, you're distributing a negative 2. Then after you distribute the negative 2, you're combining terms. Now listen to me, that's not bad thinking. But listen, it's not equal to 0. You with me? So did you distribute properly? That's what you're doing. You have to distribute. Did you hear me? Distribute the negative 2. I said there's no reason for this. So take that off, write that down, and then distribute a negative 2. Combine like terms now, after you distribute. All right, so look up. Number 4. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. It's not necessary. Now, some of you don't try to do too much work in your head. The first one I want you to write down is negative 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. No reason for parentheses. Now I'm distributing a what? I'm distributing a -2. And when I distribute that -2, it becomes what? -2 times x squared is what? Come on, you guys got to participate. -2x squared. Then what?
Positive 4x.
Positive 4x. And then what? Positive 2. And that is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. Now I've got to do what to the terms? Simplify. That is correct. Thank you. Simplifying. And when I simplify, good job. That's it, right? And then equals ax squared plus bx plus c.
C is just 0.
C is just 0. Thank you. Very smart. C is 0 because it's the constant. What's A? But they want what? They want B. They want B. Somebody tell me what B is. B is 9. All right? B is 9. Guys, you all right with that in the back? It's a common problem. Very common. All right, just combining, distributing, multiplying. Sometimes we're factoring. You got to decide what's what. All right? Now, number 5. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to translate. The only thing I'm interested in is translate this sentence right here into an equation. And somebody last period thought it was 5 centimeters, period. It's not what that means. Right? All right. I want that translated on your paper. The length of a rectangle is 5 centimeters less than twice the width. I want that written. I want it translated right now. The length is 5 centimeters less than twice the width. The length is 5 centimeters less than twice the width. There you go. Come on now. Finish the translation. Good job. Come on, you're just translating. Length is good. Now, the only thing is we don't need centimeters. Erase that. Now you're almost right. More than and less than. There was something that we had to do with more than and less than. Same with you. You forgot the same thing. Now, that right there means squared. What does twice mean? That's exactly right. Times 2. Yeah, but we don't write. That looks like WX2. So we put the 2 in front. Let me see if your translation. Wow, good. Did you look at his? You forgot something. I like that. You forgot something important. Probably not. Yes, but you don't need the centimeters in there. I don't like that. All right, let me show you what I mean by the literal translation. Thank you. Here's what I mean. Come on, let's look. The length is, so that just means what? L equals. Now, come on. 5 less than. We've been doing this honestly for so long. 5 less than. What does 5 less than mean? Minus 5. 5 less than means minus 5. Minus 5. 5 less than what? 2W. That's what you should have down. If you've got that, you're in pretty good shape. All right? The hardest part is writing the equations. All right? Now it says the area of a rectangle is 88. What's the formula for area of a rectangle? Base times height, or now the reason we choose length times width because in here they're describing it as what? Length and width. All right, come on, you with me? So now everybody should put down on their paper area equals length times width. What happens to be the area? 88. So let's put 88 in there. Uh-oh. Now what do I have to do? Thank you. What am I doing?
The two parentheses and 2W and parentheses.
I'm very proud of you. That's exactly correct. It's called a substitution. Now, in the past, we haven't done substitution with quadratics because we didn't know how to solve quadratics. Now we're one step bigger, all right? One step a little bit harder. Now we know how to solve quadratics, so you have a lot more problems you can solve, all right? So now, what do I have to do to the W? Come on, what do I have to do? Ben? Yes, I have to distribute the W. And when I distribute the W, I get 88 is equal to 2W squared minus 5W. Now it's a quadratic. So what do I have to do to the quadratic? Set it equal to 0, which means bring the 88 over. So I have 2W squared minus 5W minus 88 equals 0. Is everybody hearing me? Now you have a minute. I want everybody to factor that, just like they did yesterday. Set up your 2 sets of parentheses and walk around the room. Come on now. You're supposed to show me because you did good yesterday. You know how to factor now. Smiley face. Good job, girl. Wow. All right. Feeling pretty good. Come on. Come on. Good. What is the most common factors of 88? Okay. A little better. 44 times 2 is too big. What? Look at that number. What is it? So that's an 8 and 8. So what do you think it is? Brilliant. Solve it now. This is where you got to finish. Okay? Don't rely on me to walk around the room. Double check those signs. Is that the right sign? First of all, we want 2W squared. What's 2W times 2W? Come on. So that's not right. How much is that? How much is that? Positive 16. So the sign's wrong. You see that? See how it should be the other way? It should be minus this and plus this. Because I want the 16 to be negative, right? You understand that? Right? Come on now. You know what you're doing? First of all, 2W times 2W is not 2W squared. True? Come on now. So, come on, girl, now figure it out. Come on, that's what I mean about checking your work. You're not checking. Now, let's see if it's right. 2 sets of parentheses. Here we go. Has to be 2W and W. Some of you made a mistake and you wrote 2W and 2W. 2W and 2W would be 4W squared. All right? Now, the factors of 88. 11 and 8. Now, is it possible for the 8 to go on the left? No, it has to go where? On the right. So we're going to put an 8 and an 11. Now, we're going to see that's 11 and that's 16. I want it to be what? Negative 5. So that means the 16 is the negative and the 11 is the positive. Come on, you can write that down so you don't make that mistake. So this, positive and negative. Hey, come on. Everybody okay with that? All right, now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to erase this. Now you set the factors equal to 0. So 2w plus 11 equals 0. W minus 8 equals 0. So W equals, good, and W equals. Is it possible for a width to be negative? No. So that's called an extraneous solution. So we take this and we cross it out. The only possible answer is W equals 8. Now I go back and I read the question. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So that means we're 8 what? 8 what? Centimeters. So it's 8 by what? Somebody tell me the length. What's the length? What? I don't know what you're talking about. Ben, please tell them. Which is going to be what? Because we just found what W was. W is 8. So it is 11. Now, how did he know it was 11? Because he took the 8 and he plugged 8 into this equation. So length is equal to 2 times 8 minus 5. Is everybody okay with that? And what's 2 times 8? 16. 16 minus 5. 11. So now don't forget, it's 8 by 11 what though? You have to have the units. We're dealing with centimeters. Come on, you got to look that over now. All right, everybody take a look at number 6. Simplifying again. Simplifying again. Let's go. I want to see what you can tell me. It's either A, B, C, D, E. Give it your best shot. Come on. Now, you should be able to kind of look at it. Don't start the problem. Look at it first and see if there's something you could do to make the problem easier. Read the question first.
Combine like
Yes. Tell me what to do.
combine like
So what am I going to combine?
at 6x and 12x and 2y.
And why is the 2y and negative 2y really helpful? Yeah. Come on now, you guys. Listen to what I'm trying to tell you. When you're doing standardized tests, that's exactly how I want you to do it. Simplify. Good job. Good job. Now, when you simplify, to me, what's better would be if you cross those out. And the reason why we cross them out, because one is what? Positive, and the other one is what? Yeah, so cross them out. There you go. That's exactly right. Come on. Good. Come on. Here we go. So again, that was a good observation there in the back, guys. So I'm telling you, this positive 2y and the negative 2y do what to each other? Cancel out. So take my advice. Cross Then you can tell me what's 6x plus 12x? 18x. So now the problem is just 1/2 y squared times 18x. Now, from there, you should be able to say, well, it's obviously not C, D, or E. And what's half of 18? So I know the answer has to be what? Has to be A. Has to be A. Because half of 18 is 9xy squared. Come on now. These are the types of things I'm telling you. They're all over standardized tests. That's simple, simple, simple. And most kids have trouble with that. All right? Does everybody understand what I'm saying? Most of the time we always say distribute, correct? But when you're taking a standardized test, you got to think through, read the question carefully first, and see if you can identify any way to make the problem easier. All right? So here we go. Number 7. That should be just the answer. Please take a look at it. I'm going to walk around the room, and I want you to write down what you think the answer is. Come on. Think it through. Really? What does that say right there? Come on, think it through. Besides, 0 squared minus 4 isn't 0. Come on. Where are you at? 4? Does 4 squared minus 4 equal 0? No. Yes, come on. Good. Now put t equals 2. You don't just put that down. You ready? You understand? Okay, now look. Mentally, you understand what I'm trying to tell you? Look, come on now. We don't have to do the math on that. I would want everybody in here to just say, well, come on. That's an SAT question. They put that on a high school or college entrance exam. Give me a break. T squared minus 4 is greater than 0, and you can't look at that and say the answer is 2? Right? That's embarrassing. But that's not what we're going to put. T squared minus 4 factors to what, guys? We're going to do the work now. What does t squared minus 4 factor to?
T minus 2 is t plus 2.
Everybody, come on. That's why I'm trying to make sure. T plus 2, t minus 2 equals 0. Everybody puts that down. I don't care if you knew the answer was t equals 2. Now, after that step, you tell me what t could equal. What are the possible values for t? -2. Now, because we're smart, we can just put plus or minus 2. Now, again, I'm trying to walk around the room, and I'm trying to make sure you're just not writing down my answers. You're supposed to be trying it. Now, what restricts the value that we can't do -2? It says right here, highlight that. T must be greater than 0. And if t is greater than 0, that means it knocks out the what? It knocks out the negative. All right? All right. Let's see who remembers this. Number 8, 3x plus 7 squared. Everybody do that real quick. You better get it right. 3x plus 7 squared. It's been a while. All right, let's see if you remember that. Good job. Good job. Come on, writing yourself notes is very helpful. Come on, 3x plus 7 squared. Don't fall for the mistake that most people make. You did, of course.
I think I got it, sir.
Come on, 3x plus 7 squared. Definitely, you fell for them. Let me see. You know you did too. Wow. Everybody got it wrong so far.
I got it right.
You did not.
Oh, really?
Of course that's wrong. Of course that's wrong. Of course that's wrong.
See, I got
That's almost right. Where are you at? Come on. Multiply 3x plus 7 times 3x plus 7. What did you get? Most definitely incorrect.
It's B.
Wow. Everybody fell for it. Everybody.
Is it E?
Now, look up here. It is most definitely E. Most definitely E. But please look up here for a quick second so I can try to show you something. Hey, on your exams, that's one of the most, that's the easiest mistake to make. But please, seriously, that's embarrassing. I walk around the room and almost every single one of you missed that problem. Because the easy choice is obviously to put down what? C. That's the easy choice. Most people put down C. It's embarrassing. All right. Now let me just try to show you something just to help you. If I say 1 plus 2 squared, is that the same as 1 squared plus 2 squared? No. There's a middle term. When you square a binomial, you get a what? Trinomial. When you square a binomial, you get a trinomial. Right off the bat, you should have been able to say, well, I know it's not A, B, or C, because I remember him screaming at me for a month. When you square a binomial, you get a trinomial. So it's definitely not A, B, or C. And now it's just a matter of how do I figure out what the middle term is. I'm not sure how many times we figured out what the middle term is, but I told you 3x plus 7 times 3x plus 7, 21 and 21 makes 42. How many times have we done that? And you're putting down C as an answer. I agree, it's embarrassing. Come on, do not put C when you square a binomial. Now, what I want to try to do now is, guys, look up here for a second because I want to show you a pattern for this. All right? You should be able to just look at that and say 9x squared plus 42x plus 49. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. So look up, please, so I can show you. All right? Because most people don't know this. All right? But look real quick. There's a pattern, right? And I want to show you what the pattern is right now. So please listen. The first thing you guys all got right was 3x squared is what? 9x squared. All right? And then, of course, the next one is 7 squared, which was what? a positive 49. All right, now listen, the middle term. Let me try to explain how the quick way to get the middle term. Whenever you're squaring a binomial, here's what you're going to do. You're going to say 3x times 7. What's 3x times 7? 21x times 2. Now, if you remember, the middle term is always the same. That's why it's times 2. So I always try to tell kids, the exponent will tell you how many times you got to multiply it. So 3x times 7 is 21x times 2, which gives me the what? The middle term, 42x. So please be careful with that. Try to put that in your memory. If not, anytime you square something, just write it as 3x plus 7 times 3x plus 7. And then it's easier to see the middle term. All right? Those are on all standardized tests, all of them. All right? Whether you're going into a private school next year, whether you're taking the ACT, SAT, that problem's usually on the test because they know everybody puts down C. All right? Don't make that mistake. All right, number 9. Very, very important problem. Put a star by this one. And I want someone who was thinking to highlight f of x and tell me what f of x means. F of x is another fancy way for writing what?
Time.
Nope. Say it. Function. It is a function. But what's the other? Instead of using f of x, we can put what there? Instead of f of x, we can put what letter there? Tell us, Ben. Come on. No. F of x can be replaced with what letter? No. X is already here. What? No. Y. That's correct. All right. So I want everybody to write down on your paper now, f of x is the same as y equals. F of x is the same as y equals. I need you to understand that. F of x and y are interchangeable. So on this problem, it's y equals 3x squared minus bx plus 12. Now, somebody tell me why you think they gave me this point, 3, 6. Why did they give me that point, probably? Because I'm trying to find b. Does everybody agree with that? I'm trying to find b, right? How many variables are there in that problem right now? 3, a b, an x, and a y. I can't have 3 variables to solve an equation. I can really only have what? 1. So I need to get rid of 2 of them. So now, why is the 3, 6 important? What does the 3 represent? Come on, guys. What does the 3 represent? Very good. The x value. What does 6 represent? The y value. So what I'm going to tell you now is I want you to plug 3 in for what? X. And 6 in for y. And then I want you to solve for b. I'm going to walk around the room to see if you understand what I'm saying. Plug 3 in for x and 6 in for y. And then solve the equation while I'm walking around the room. Plug 3 in for x and 6 in for y. Hold up. What did I just say?
3 in for x.
Right, so what is that right there?
That is x. So 3 is going to be x.
That's what I thought you said. Now, remember, it goes in here. That's a b. And then get rid of that x. And then equals, what is it equal? No. What did I say y was?
6.
Come on, that's what I mean. What goes in for y? That's not us, is it?
Yes.
All right, so we're done. Hey, no homework, so we're going to leave off here. All right, we're going to leave off on this now. Please, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good weekend. Time flies, we're having fun.
You're right.